There are quite a lot of things that you can do with panels in Photoshop, and it's very important to know about all these features because in the exam they really ask about even the smallest details. So first we have to know where we can find the panels. They are under the window menu. So this is a list of all the available panels in Photoshop. And then it's also important to learn all the definitions about panels. So first of all, what's the panel tab area and the panel tab? So these little parts where we can see the names are the panel tabs, and the darker color is the panel tab area. On the right we have the panel menu. So this little drop down icon is the panel menu where we can find more or additional options for each of the panels. And when two panels are stacked together, we call it a panel group. So like adjustments and styles are a panel group in this case. Layers, channels and path again is a panel group. And I can change the order of these panels inside a panel group by just dragging them left and right. Panels can be in three main states. They can be either docked or floating or in iconic state. These ones here are in iconic state. These ones are all docked. But let me open another panel, let's say character styles, and I'm going to drag this out by clicking on the panel tab and drag it out. Then it will become a floating panel. So now we have a floating panel, an open iconic panel, two collapsed iconic panels, and a couple of docked panels here on the right. Again, remember these definitions well because they will be referred to in the exam like this. When you have panels in iconic state, you can drag them further out to be able to see their names, or again hide the names and only see the icons if you give it less space. There is an option for the iconic panels under the Preferences interface, and that's called the Auto Collapse Iconic Panels. If you turn this on, then whenever you have an iconic panel open and you click somewhere else, they will automatically collapse. So once again, it's under the Preferences interface Auto Collapse Iconic Panels. By default, it's turned off, so that's the way I'm going to keep it now as well. There's also another thing you should know, how to maximize and minimize panels. If you double click on the panel tab or panel tab area, that will minimize a panel. Either it's floating or docked, so it works here as well. And then if you want to maximize it again, you will have to just simply click once, but on the panel tab and not the panel tab area. So if I click on that, it won't work. On that one, I will have to double click. So to maximize, you have to click once on the panel tab or double click on the panel tab area, this darker part between the panel tab and the panel menu icon. You can easily resize panels by dragging them in any direction, and you can do this for all the panels apart from the histogram and the clone source panels. So if I open that up, for example the histogram, you can see even if I drag it out to be a floating panel, I won't be able to change its size. The only way I can expand it is by choosing expanded view. But once again, it's not possible to change the size of this panel, and the other panel is called the clone source panel. That's again something I can't change its size at all. If I want to create a panel group, maybe from these two panels, I can just simply start dragging one of them, clicking on the panel tab and drag it. And once I go close to the other panel tab, the clone sources panel tab, then I will see this blue highlight. And that highlight indicates the target where I'm going to place this panel. So if I let go now, that means I created a panel group. So I can move them together by holding here on the top of this panel group, and I can switch between the two panels easily as well. If I want to put this also into the panel group, I just have to wait for that blue highlight, and when I let go, it will be placed into that panel group as well. I can also dock panels to the left of the user interface, which is to the right of the toolbar, or I can dock to the right as well. But I can always get them out from here. And I can also dock panels to the bottom of the user interface. So there again, if I see the blue line, that means I will be able to dock it there at the bottom. The only place where I can't dock panels is the top of the user interface. So below the control bar or options bar and above the document window area, I can't dock panels. If I want to restrict or prevent docking by accidentally in an area, a panel which I'm just dragging around, I can hold down Command or Control, and that will make sure I can place this panel anywhere without docking it into any of the areas. And there's one more thing which is good to know. These little double arrows can be used to quickly open up or expand a panel, or then collapse it back again to icons. The same applies to these here on the right. I can expand or collapse them using those double arrows. And that's all what you need to know about working with panels in Photoshop.